Cronkite News brings you Access Across Arizona.
And now, continuing with our Access Across Arizona series, we're taking you to Santa Cruz County in one of the biggest border crossings in the nation, Nogales, Arizona. Reporter Samantha Davis is in Nogales now with that story. Samantha?
I'm in Nogales right now, just a few blocks from the U.S. Mexico border. Every day, Mexicans spend millions of dollars in Arizona. But with some banks leaving the border region, it could make international commerce more challenging. 'Tis the season for spending money on holiday gifts, and the border town of Nogales is no exception. Thousands of people cross the international border every day to spend millions in Arizona before returning back to Mexico. Here in Nogales, one bank has closed its branch, but others remain open for business. There have been other banks closing in other border towns, and that concerns Senator John McCain.
We cannot deprive our citizens just because they live along the border with the same accessibility to capital and financing that other citizens do.
In letters addressed to Bank of America, Citigroup, JP Chase, and Wells Fargo, the senator asked why they decided to close branches in Arizona's border communities. To Bank of America, he wrote, "In the last year, Bank of America has reportedly closed 2 branches in Nogales and no longer operates there. Those branch closures have resulted in higher transaction costs and substantial difficulties for local businesses." He continues to say that new regulations are in place. The goal of these regulatory efforts has been to target drug trafficking organizations and hinder money laundering across the border. While some politicians have concerns over banks closing locations in border towns like Nogales, others are not so worried.
This is just an inconvenience of not having it right by the border. And it could hurt a community. If you were to lose all the banks in Nogales, well, naturally it's going to hurt one way or another. But that's not going to happen.
Mayor Guarino says that if more banks pull out of Nogales, then they could have problems in the future with their agricultural industry and the maquiladora manufacturing industry. But he hasn't heard of any other banks leaving the area. However, some frequent travelers have found that closing banks means more difficulty getting cash.
On one hand, yes, because we are having trouble with using our cards and making transactions. That is what's affecting us citizens.
Senator John McCain said he had personal conversations with executives from some of these banks, encouraging them to continue to do business in the border region. We did receive a statement back from Bank of America concerning the sale of some of their branches, 2 of them in Nogales. They say, quote, "The decision to sell these locations to a community bank rather than closing them was made to preserve as many jobs as possible and ensure these communities will continue to be served with convenient local branches. So we view this as a way to save jobs and maintain a brick-and-mortar banking presence in these towns."